Wait a minute. I'm supposed to be answering questions. Okay, where's my agent? I need my agent. My agent is supposed to stop this from happening. He's supposed to stop this. Stop it. Apparently he didn't. Wait, I don't have an agent. Explains why this happens. Oh well. Okay, Sarasara. Let the games begin. Question number. Wait, what question are we on? One? 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 I answered a question before. I. No, didn't count. Well, it's still a viewer question. Dude, that's still one. This should be, like, the first question on this thing should be question 2. Because I've already tried to answer 1. Oh, I didn't answer it. I gave an opinion. Great. Thanks for that. But that's still answering a question. Whatever. Question 1. Let's begin. What prompted me to make a YouTube channel? Well, a few years ago, me and a couple of friends made a little video. It's on the site. It's one of the older videos. Had to redo it because the sound was effed up. But it was pretty much our little instructional video on wall-to-wall counseling and how it can backfire if you don't follow the wall-to-wall counseling accordingly. That was the thing that prompted me to actually make a channel. Now, for all the recent videos, what I mean by recent is starting with stuff like 2011-ish. I think 11 is when I actually started making videos. What prompted that was I felt that some people really get confused on what the hell roleplay was, and it's hard to go, oh, this does this, and that does that, and this definition, that's that definition. I figured, why not just make a site with all the general information on it? Saves time, saves effort, and if I have an issue with people, I can just refer them to the video. Boom, done. Pretty straightforward, right? Do I think people are watching it? No. But what I'm hoping is that I keep putting my videos out there for roleplay help and assistance, and hopefully those who are actually good at roleplay or are constantly roleplaying refer to my videos as key points to help other people who are just starting get through it. I have a lot of enemies as it stands where people just don't seem to get it, but I'm not going to sit there and try to win everyone over. Fuck that. It doesn't work. You can't please everybody 100% of the time. You just can't do it. Hell, I'm doing a job where you can't do that. Seriously, you just can't. No matter what you do, you just can't do it. It doesn't happen. So, to sum up, the reason why I made the channel initially was for me and my friends to do little skits. But, since I had to move and whatnot, I changed it over to a roleplay aid to help, well, roleplayers. Does it always help people? No. Because it goes with issue 1, people do not read. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I do believe that was issue 2. See, I had so many issues with so many different things, I have to remember the right number for the right situation. Issue 1 is people cannot leave well enough alone. Issue 2, people cannot read and or listen. Issue 3 is actually 2 issues. But since they're so close together, and people always mix them up, I figured it would just be easiest to put them together. Cross roleplay and metagame knowledge. It's pretty much the same thing, just depending on who's the starting point. But let's go ahead and continue with the other questions, because I've answered question 1. Question 1. Question 1. Right. Question B. 2. Question B. What do I prefer to make more? The ranting videos, or rant/discussion videos, or the educational videos? The educational ones, I can find clips to add in. That makes them a little comical. So that on a little small part of editing that I can do. Me, edit. No, no, no. With the side order of no. But anyway, I do prefer the rants and discussion vids just because the fact of I could literally just throw stuff out there. I mean, literally. Answering age-old questions, still rants. It's purposely made to just have fun. They still have to just go out there. It doesn't matter. People are going to agree, people are going to disagree with it. I understand that. I accept that. I don't care. But definitely the rants. I definitely like making the rants a little bit more. Which is why I broke my rants down to ranting, discussion, age-old questions, things like that. That's kind of why I broke it down. I don't know. It just seemed better. Which issue causes me the most grief, causes me the most problem, and which causes me the least? Wow. To be perfectly honest, the one that caused the most grief is issue 3. That's the biggest one. People can't keep their shit apart. They think they've said something in character when they said it out of character. They rely stuff out of character for in character. It's just a mess. Issue 3 is just a destructive mess in roleplay. It's just brutal. And then metagame knowledge is not much better. I mean, metagame knowledge is not anywhere near as bad as the original issue 3 of Cross Roleplay. That is just horrible. That doesn't go for anything. It just destroys and murders and maims and kills. It's like a Mongolian horde. It's a Mongolian horde of roleplay. It doesn't care. It just shows up, done, and it presses on. Again, this isn't even about the crack roleplay. That's a whole nother issue that isn't quite the Hungarian horde or whatever. Mongolian horde. Yeah, we'll call them the Hungarian horde. Crack roleplay is a Hungarian horde, where you can really jack yourself over for legitimate roleplay. But the Mongolian horde is issue 3. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, it's issue 3. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Now, the issue that causes me least grief, amazingly, like stunningly, it's like one of those things that you go, really? It's issue 2. Why? Because I accept the fact people aren't going to read. I put a bunch of little stories up there, I put data up there, I put information up there, but I know people aren't going to read. I have accepted the fact that people aren't going to read. You can tag them in a post, you can put it up there, plain as day, use big fancy lettering, and they're not going to read. I mean, hell, people just don't read. It's simple. I mean, go to a store and watch for like 12, not even 12 hours. You can watch for 12 minutes. You'll see someone push a door that says pull. It says pull right there on the door. Pull. And they will push and push and push, and then they'll look around like, why doesn't this work? And then they'll try to pull it and it works. Let's be honest. People don't read. And yet, that, to me, is not a big issue. I mean, it's still an issue in roleplay. It is a big issue in roleplay. Don't get me wrong. But for me, it's not that big of an issue because I know they're not going to do it. I already know this. I know it ain't going to be done. I've accepted that. So there's no shock. It really isn't. So the issue that I have the least problem with, issue 2. Because I know people don't do it anyway. They just don't. But the one that causes the most grief and problems, issue 3. Now, to quickly answer a question about issue 3, the reason being I have 2 items in issue 3, the reason I have 2 items, is because, like I said earlier, they are very close together. Cross roleplay is pretty much the player talking to the character, and pretty much vice versa, where characters interact with players, players interact with characters, aka breaking the fourth wall. And not just breaking the fourth wall, but horribly breaking the fourth wall. Like, for no reason, breaking the fourth wall. Meanwhile, the other side of issue 3 is metagame knowledge, where if a player is told something, or if a player knows something, then it applies across their characters. It applies across the board. To a point, I have understood the metagame part. The metagame knowledge I understood because some people want friends, they want to introduce new characters, they want to work on new characters and develop them, etc. And it's hard to do that if you don't talk to anybody. It really is. So the metagame knowledge, on that logic, I understood. It was like, okay, I get it, you want to get some practice in to get the flow. Cool, gotcha, no problem. The metagame knowledge that becomes a problem is when people do stuff that they claim for jokes, is usually the top thing. It's a joke. Yet it's only between them. So everyone else who sees it as a horrible thing, and they wonder where the drama comes from. Focus, people. Focus. Communication is key. Period. So, most problem, issue 3. Least problem, issue 2. And issue 1 is like right there in the middle because people can't leave well enough alone anyway, no matter what you do. I mean, hell, it saved the problem on people leaving well enough alone. I had to block people. I don't block people for more than a day or two. I really don't. I'll block them for maybe a week at best. Only because I figure they need to think what they're doing. And then I take them off the block list. Some people who have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt from what they say and the way they act, I really can't help them. I just can't. I can't. I don't even bother. A good example, someone claimed that a character's player was dead. They threw a fit about the person dying. They threw a fit. I mean, holy crap, she attacked everybody because no one believed her. She attacked everybody. Brr. Now, a couple months later, I kind of put it down there. I kind of made a notation of the character's coming back. A couple months later, guess what gets reactivated? That specific character who players died. It's very disrespectful to come back like that, especially if it's someone's like last will per se. This is why I'm very picky on who gets what characters. I mean, very picky on who gets what characters, because I want to make sure people can actually hold on to it, can actually apply it. Like if I had a choice and someone wanted to play the Rock, I'd have them go through me first because I've roleplayed as the Rock. I know how to keep it as believable as possible. I've roleplayed as Ryu Hayabusa. I understand how to keep the mindset focused. He isn't as super silly as, say, Laser is. He isn't as charismatic as Rock. So I know how to keep that apart between Rock and Ryu. Of course, I also grabbed El Palazzo because El Palazzo is just one of those badasses that just is insane. He does random things where you sit there and you kind of think, well, at least he's trying to better himself. Even though he sucks at it, he's still trying to better himself. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. If I had my options, certain characters, I'd have people have to come through me to get it. Other cases, not so much. That's just me, though. I mean, then you won't see as many Ryu Hayabusas running around looking like insane hypocrites. Just putting it out there. I'm not saying all of them. I'm just saying a few of them. There's like 50 of them, so there's a few that kind of step over the line. I didn't just read that. Tell me I did not just read that. Okay. Let's see, I'm going to go with all the stereotypes I've been hit with so far, so I'm going to have fun with this. I'm going to have a little bit of fun. Oh yeah. Let's see. Too old to roleplay. Age, 3007. No, literally, 3000.7. Where's that? 3, right there. 3007. Sex. Yes, please. Nationality. What do I look like? And if you say Italian, I am going to fly off the corner and off the handle and look like the frickin' ah! Location. Here. Where are you at? I'm calling Shang Tsung. I quit. Shang Tsung. Shang! 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 Video game genre that I like. Well, the ones I prefer anyway. When I was younger, I was all over the fighting games. I mean, all over them. But now, I still do the fighting games, don't get me wrong. Uh, I do some first-person shooters. I find those kind of fun, only because I get to shoot stuff in the face. If it's another person I shoot in the face, an alien I shoot in the face, a locust I shoot in the face, an undead, mobile dead, I shoot in the face a lot, multiple times, until he just doesn't get up anymore. Then I take the rifle and just... Granted, there's like 500 of them coming to get me, but I'm still just one. Shooters, I find amusing just because you can shoot them in the face. You can shoot them in the face. When there's like 50 zombies running at you, I shoot them in the knees. Why? Because they fall down. Then I can shoot them in the face after. Fighting games, again, I still play. Adventure games are pretty fun. Puzzlers, they're there. So overall, if I'm with people, I have a heyday with first-person shooters. I do. It's all over the place. Only problem with fighters is you're literally versus each other, or you can team up and take on people that will just dominate. First-person shooters are a little bit more allowing of that. You kind of skeeve off. But again, this goes either way. Roleplay games. Roleplay games, I'm always interested in the story if it can get my attention early enough. Sometimes, just it doesn't. Sometimes the story is just doesn't. But if I'm like in a series, I'll stay with it. So overall, I still do the fighting games. I still do the roleplay games. I do the adventure games. But overall, I do like the little extras in first-person shooters. Not just because you can go online and shoot other people in the face, but you can just do extra little things, and it's just amusing. So it's FPS, fighters, roleplay. Then it goes whatever to whatever to whatever. Adventure, action, puzzlers, things like that. And that's just straightforward. Nothing amazingly epic on answering that question. Well, this does go with the nice little statement that I put out earlier about how people love to think roleplay relationships are real life relationships. I can't figure this one out. It still flabbergasts me. It is dumbfounding on how this happens. But people still do it. Don't know why, but they do. Fill to answer the question? Hell no, I'm not going to fill that out. What's this? eHarmony? Me? No. No, and... No. No Facebook eHarmony for you. No roleplay Facebook eHarmony for you. No, 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 no. For nobody. For nobody. Ain't filling that out for nobody. Nobody. How did I discover roleplay? When I was younger, I started out role-playing because we, as a group, when I first came in, well, when I first came to the military, there was a small group that did it over weird stuff. Pretty much Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, etc. No, we're not the same group that's doing the comic version that's funny as hell. We're not that group. No. But before that, I was also role playing stuff because I was writing stories. I had to role play constantly to get used to it. This way I could think on different levels, different ideas, etc., etc. Just allowed me to write more freely. Did really well in my creative writing lessons. I found a 3-page limit just didn't work for me. Anyway, that was pretty much the beginning of the roleplay thing. When I first came to the military, found groups that were still trying to do it. So, went there and tried some of that. And for a while, I was getting really, really good, and then I slacked off on it because, well, there was other things I had to do. And because I let my skills degrade so far in that, and I focused mainly on just story writing, it took a while to get back into it, and when I started getting back into it, started seeing more issues. Maybe it's the whole thing that they say for writing. The cold eyes logic, where if you step back and step away from something for a little bit, and you come back into it, you see problems or issues or edits that you haven't seen before. This being said, that's probably where I initially found the issues with role playing, because people started doing them, and it starts becoming more and more obvious to me what they were. Then again, this is why my first book has taken forever to come out, because I write it. If I don't like the way it came out, or if I don't like how it flowed, I had to go back through and rewrite it from scratch. Then I'm forever checking over edits, make sure everything flows properly. The editing, the spelling, making sure it's right here. Like, if they hear someone coming, it has to be this here, not right here. And I still know I'm missing some. I know that for a fact. I still know I'm missing some. But I am now more confident in the book I have done. Although I have 2 books done, I still need to work on a 3rd one. I have it sketched out, I just don't have the hard story written. So I'll be getting to that soon enough. But that's the way I got into roleplay. I didn't hop onto a site and say, oh, let me just do this here. Unlike some people who roleplay just like that. It's, oh, it's this site, let me go ahead and do it. No. I've done it before. I've done it before. I've done it at different points. But I like the fact that I was able to leave it for a little bit and then come back to it and see the problems I didn't see before, which is very, very helpful. Which I've tried to help. Well, I did try to help. That's what the whole issue thing is. I try to help people. I try to help them understand what's going on. It's just that simple. Favorite console? Favorite gaming console? Wow. Well, since I don't really consider a computer a gaming console, I just don't. I'm sorry. I know people are going to be yelling, well, you play WoW and Diablo and yada yada and blah blah blah. How can it not be a gaming console? It's just it's a computer, for Pete's sake. No, I'll take that back. I'll take that back, because I've actually had a lot of fun on the old computers. Seventh Gas, Burn Cycle. Some people know what those games are, some people won't. I don't care. Old school Commodore 64 games. There's a little game where, like, through shapes that you constantly, you gotta fly through them. People know that from Spyro. The little flame ring, and you gotta fly through the rings. Boom, 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 boom. And you gotta get them all. Let's see what else. The computer has a good range. I'll admit. Commander Blood was pretty fun. But I don't know. Maybe it's just because I had been in Japan for a little bit. I'm actually starting to take a more of a liking to PlayStation. I am. I'm going back to the PlayStation mentality. I mean, don't get me wrong. I played Xbox 360. I played the shit out of that. I play it like a nutcase. But I'm starting to go back towards the PlayStation thing just because I like playing PlayStation. It's just the way I am. I'm used to the controls. I'm used to how things work. It's just how I roll. Now, with this being said, I've already pointed out that I like Xbox, I like the normal computer gaming consoles, but I'm not going to sit here and straightforward and say I'm not playing PlayStation. No, I play both. I play all those consoles I can. I got a Wii. I try to play that. So yes, I do try. I have to play as many consoles as I can to see what's what. My personal favorite happens to be right now the Xbox. Why? Because for some reason the Xbox shooters I can get into a little bit easier. The PlayStation fighters I can get into easier. I don't know why. It's just probably the way the controller set up. We'll figure it out one, huh? Well, let me think about this for a minute. Do I get stage fright, shyness, awkward feeling, etc., 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 before making a video or during making a video? Not really. Just because of the fact of, like I said earlier, I know people A won't bother watching, and if they do, they'll either agree or disagree. And that's how people are. They'll either agree or disagree. It's accepting that fact and moving along. So I can throw out my options and my opinions out there as much as I can on certain items. Hopefully it'll help some folks. And even if they disagree, I'm hoping for the fact that it actually, you know, lets them see another edge, another side of things. Would that help? I would think it would, but some people just don't want it. Just don't want to help. Don't want to take the help, don't want to need the help. Although I've seen some people who definitely need it. But, again, I'm not really worried about awkwardness or shyness or whatever, because I'm only stating opinions here. I mean, it's not like I'm in front of a classroom teaching people. Then again, if my videos are used to teach people in a classroom, that's actually spooky. Maybe drama class could use them. So now I'm thinking, oh, that's not a good sign. Now I'm thinking about stuff like that. Oh, well. Am I worried? No. Do I suffer stage fright? I used to when I was younger, only because of the fact of I didn't know. But once you get used to the fact of not really giving a flying rat's ass what people are going to say, everyone has their own opinion. They do. Everyone has their own opinion. So that accepting that is what's going to help. Again, you can't please everyone 100% of the time, so instead of stressing about it, just go with what you go. Well, go with what you got. Simple as that. I know I make it sound easy, but to be perfectly honest, it's just a way to look at it. Don't sit there and worry about things. Don't sit there and overanalyze. If you're making a video, make a video. If you're talking to people, talk to people. It's just the way it's going to go. This was actually a very weird question brought by a friend of mine a while back, and I refused to answer it because I thought nothing of it. I figured, well, it's common sense, common logic, but I've been wrong before. Uh, so, how do you play a canon character true to the canon? Well, first, it'd be nice to know what you're role-playing. Straightforward. It's nice to know what you're role-playing. If you're role-playing as The Rock, then for Pete's sake, watch a couple wrestling matches, or yeah, a couple wrestling episodes, matches, whatever, that have them featured. It would help. Now, if you know more of them, that's great. If you're playing Sailor Moon and you've never seen the series, it's going to be hard to play as Sailor Moon. It's just going to be difficult. If you're playing Vegeta and you've never seen an episode of Dragon Ball Z, you're going to have some issues. It's going to be a little rough. I mean, you can look on sites and see what Wikipedia says or whatever says, but deep down and in the end, it's going to seem off compared to what the actual canon character would do. If you want to make it as close as possible, or make it as believable as possible, you've got to do your research. It's how do I say this? It's like acting in a way. You have to actually do the research on the character to do it right. If you're playing Goku, then you might want to look at Dragon Ball, then Dragon Ball Z. Reason being, you understand where he comes from, how it rolls, everything's set up. I can't really suggest more than that. I mean, all actors actually research their roles unless it's a really bit part, like very small. So, best I can suggest is go out there and look for original things from the series. Not abridged series. I mean, well, unless you're calling a character from the abridged series, then you can have all the fun you want with that. But you have to look at the original series. If you're doing it per canon, look at the original series. Excuse me. If you're role playing as Batman, aka Bruce Wayne, you're not going to land someone in front of someone as Batman and pull the mask off and go, I'm Bruce Wayne. It's just not going to happen. You're going to try to avoid that at all costs. It's just the way things are. So do your research. In some way, shape, or form, do your research. Okay? That's all I'm asking. Okay? Now, let's move on to the next question. The reason why I'm saying move on to the next question because this was a big one. This was a major question that came up from a friend of mine, and I didn't want to answer it initially. But like I said, this is the best way to go about it because if you do your research, even a little bit, it helps you roleplay the character a lot closer to the canon. It helps you see it a lot more, and you're able to get it a little bit better. The creation of Laser Zanoni. Wow. This question came up. I'm trying to remember exactly when it came up. It came up in high school. The first time it came up was in high school. I was drawing a lot, and the original cast for the Zanoni Wars, well, Laser's chapter of the Zanoni Wars, is radically different than what it is now. To be perfectly honest, their female protagonist, Katrina Recarici, she was supposed to be dead. D-E-D, dead, dead. Actually spelled D-E-A-D, but dead. Do you get this? Dead. As in, do not pass go, not collect $200, go directly to frickin' jail, you have died. Please re-roll. That's how dead she's supposed to be. The original sub was supposed to be Laser and Stalker. That was the original pairing. And I had that pairing sub for a specific reason. Now, when I brought the art book in, book of all my drawings of the characters for my story, people looked and everyone voted yes, Laser is definitely going to be the protagonist. They loved the basic design of him, which of course I put in the website, so it helps. But that design people liked. It was like one of those just enough of a good guy, bad guy look to where people believed he could go either way for good guys or the bad guys. That's what I mean, not the other way, you sick monkeys. Sick. Sick. Disgusting. Anyway. The reason why Stalker got bumped out of the top spot was because everyone found Katrina more interesting than Stalker. Stalker was supposed to be a warrior Amazon that's never lost a fight. Now, people like the fact Katrina was an American trying to be a samurai. This was before, of course, the movie American Samurai with Tom Cruise. Or was that The Last Samurai? Either way, you get the point. Before that movie came out, Katrina was running around in the book as a memory to Laser. Now, people were going back and forth about it, and they did not like the fact that she was dead. I mean, literally, I started getting people to chew me out about it. So I looked through the story, and I bumped her up to main protagonist. So, with that being said, I made another character who was supposed to be dead to be a plot pusher for Laser. Mei Yasumi. Well, apparently, after looking at the votes, I didn't get much like male on that one. People did not like the fact that the cute little Japanese girl had to die. They did not like that idea. So I had to keep her. But seeing the boats, I kind of changed it a little bit, and I made Sayuri akimbo. This girl is definitely dead. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. She's dead. She's a little bit older than me, same nationality, Japanese, and she's a lot more prominent in his memories. So I was able to put her for that. Now, the way Laser himself was created was I wanted a hero that, well, I wanted an anti-hero. Because at the time, everybody was all over the heroes. They were all over, like, the Hulk Hogan's, all over the clean-cut good guy thing. So I started developing Laser as more of an anti-hero. So I looked at characters that were more of the anti-hero spec, per se. Gambit, Wolverine, Raphael, Link. Yes, Link is actually more of an anti-hero at the beginning, because he did not want to do shit to save people. He just wound up doing it. Oh, help me, I've fallen. Okay, what do you want? We'll take this and save so-and-so. I'm supposed to do what? Take this and save so-and-so. Fine, I'll save her. I'll be done. You need to go collect 3 pendants. Bitch, please, I just saved your ass. I'm done. But you need to collect them because you're the hero. Oh, great. Now I'm the hero. Great, whatever. I got it. I got it. I got it. That was Link in a nutshell at the beginning. Of course, he started coming out later more and more as a hero, like, I'm going to do anything they say. No. And the big issue that I liked from Mega Man was the ability to learn from your enemies. Learn their powers, learn their abilities, learn their technique, etc. I like that idea. And I made it part of Laser's thing for Combat Genius because any fighting genius seems to be able to do such a thing. So, culminating all this together, developed Laser. It just, I'm not going to say it made it instant, like, if I put this in here, that in there, that in there, that in there, and stir it together, hey, it's Laser! No. I had to take different aspects of each character and adjust them. Only a little bit, but I adjusted them to be more for Laser. More for the anti-hero look. And the common thing was, most of the time, they were cocky. In Laser, the way I made Laser was he is cocky. He's almost like, not quite the Rock cocky, but he's cocky. And if you're like, oh, the world's going to end if this doesn't get stopped, he's like, I don't care. I don't care. I'll stop it if it's in my way. I'm going this way. Is it that way? Okay, I'll stop it. You see? So, again, this is how things work. Making Laser was a big issue because taking different aspects of different characters and putting them together to make a guy that really didn't give a care was pretty difficult by itself. Now, when I finally got the story up and running to where I liked it, it actually added up more for his reincarnations. It added everything together, everything flows nicely now, and the issue of the story happens to be a lot of what happened in his past lives. It adds up. So, I'm just going to stop there because I've already answered where did Laser actually come from. A culmination of other heroes and anti-heroes, taking certain aspects of each one that I actually liked and putting them together, thus making Laser Laser. But of course, his counterpart took a while to develop because people did not want the characters I wanted dead, they did not want dead. Let's just say it that way. I made characters specifically so they would be dead, and everyone fought tooth and nail to get them to be alive. I can't figure that one out, but okay. But that is where Laser came from, just in a nutshell. I'm going to answer this one pretty quick because this is a very straightforward question, and I have very straightforward answers for it. My favorite, my favorite original character concept, Laser immediately followed by Saber. I mean, not even a vote difference. Like 0.5 of a difference, if anything. When I created Laser, I had to create an antagonist that was set against him. I mean, set against him. I didn't mean like Goku Vegeta set. I mean, he will kill everything else just to piss off Laser. Just to do it. In fact, he's even done it in one of the stories. If people read the history notes, Saber has killed May just to get to Laser. Just to get him to go full throttle. But that's Saber. And I like the concept of Saber because he cares less about anything. He is very goal oriented. You say you want him dead, you want a guy dead. Saber will kill everybody to get to this guy. He doesn't care how subtle it is. You can go out in the middle of the street and just lob off the head and walk off. People will be like, "What the hell was that?" That's Saber. He doesn't care. He doesn't care how powerful you think you are. He will try to do everything he can to stop you before you even get a chance to power up. That's how he works. Laser, however, is not exactly the opposite, but he's more of the, okay, I gotta take you out, I'll take you out. I gotta beat you, that's it, okay. Now, my favorite canon character that I've made so far, since I don't really do a lot of canon characters, I do have three. I'll admit, I do have three. I had The Rock. I have Ryu Hayabusa, and I have El Palazzo from Excel Saga. Now, of those three, I loved role-playing as The Rock. I did. It was one of those things of I had it down. It may have taken me a while to come up with responses, but I wanted to keep the responses of the character. This is why I was known more as really good with it, because I actually thought about the responses. I took some time. I concentrated on how he would reply as opposed to how anyone else would reply. Now, with that being said, I'm not knocking my El Palazzo, and I'm not knocking my Ryu Hayabusa. The way I have my Ryu set up is he's an honorable ninja. Everyone understands that Ryu is a dark hero and he's an honorable ninja. But compared to how everyone else is trying to make him out to be, because the new game that's coming out, everyone wants to be that evil, badass, kill everything, don't even think about it until later. No, I wanted my Ryu to be more of the understanding situation of, if I do this, what's going to happen? If this happens, what will that mean? Which makes him a lot more related to honoring the dead, being more withdrawn from fighting if he can avoid it. He's not going to go out there and purposely look to beat up somebody. But if it comes down to it, he's going to throw brass tacks. It's going to happen. You're done. That's how he rolls. That's how my version of Ryu rolls. That was my character translation, so I went with it. Il Palazzo, however, I had him a little bit more active than they did in Excel Saga. The reason being is because he's always sitting back, always chilled, always letting his agents do things. But I wanted to show people that when El Palazzo does things, he does things bluntly. It's what I need to do to make my point. Period. That was it. That was his whole objective. When he goes to do something, he makes his point. This is totally different than how I'm pretty sure other people would roleplay El Palazzo, always sitting back and chilling. Don't get me wrong. My El Palazzo does sit back. My El Palazzo does stay quiet. And he does send his agents out to do things. But sometimes he just decides to do it himself. Why? Because it works. So, my favorite canon character was The Rock. My favorite original character? It's gotta be Laser. Immediately followed by the Saber. Even though I have a clone for Laser called Glacier, I still like Laser better. I like where I'm going with Glacier, don't get me wrong, but laser is the one that I'm more settled with. So that answers all those questions. That answers all the questions I've had so far between 2 to 3 people. Actually, 3 people. Because if you count the other one, that's 4 people. There we go. I'm not going to do the foamy fan mail crap. I'm not going to blow stuff up. No, I just got this laptop. I'm not going to blow it up. I would like to keep it for a little while. So, there's your answers. So everyone who's watching, there you go. You have your answers. Yay! And this is almost an hour-long video. I'm sorry. I apologize. It's almost an hour long. I do apologize for that, but I am answering questions as much as possible. Get them all done at once. I try not to let things build up too much because they build up. It just becomes ugly later. So let's just cut it, and there we go. So, have yourself a good night, and I'll see y'all whenever.